This is the Lockpicker 1969, and welcome to my channel, and welcome to this next episode of Interview with a Lockpicker. Today's guest is TheGreenishOne. Say hello.
Hey, hey,
So, first and foremost, where are you from?
I am from the Netherlands.
Okay. For those listeners who are also in the Netherlands, about what area are you from?
I live near Utrecht. That's about in the middle of the Netherlands,
Okay.
about half an hour from Amsterdam.
All right. So, how and when did you get into Locksport?
That must have been, it was a year ago, um, near the end of the pandemic for us. We had been locked in for such a long time, and that wasn't really healthy for me because I spent most of my time gaming. And I just needed something else, something to do with my hands. And since I was on YouTube a lot, um, I saw, of course, some videos from Lockpicking Lawyer, and from there it went to LockNoob. And with the LockNoob videos, I really thought, hey, this might be something I'd like to do
So,
as well.
you said you're a gamer. What kind of games were you playing?
The last couple of years mostly Destiny 2 um, on the Xbox with my clan,
Okay.
and I'm a bit burned out on that now, so I'm playing more Souls-like games. Just finished Elden Ring and started a new one yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, I spent 4 years playing one single game. Um,
Hmm.
it was on Steam called War Robots. It's like kind of like a walking tanks type of thing. So
Yeah.
I can relate. Got out of that a year ago and haven't looked back.
Yeah, since I found lockpicking, I'm gaming a lot less, and it's
Yeah.
better for my mental health.
Yes, exactly. And yeah. Anyways, I digress. So how did you get into the community, and how did that impact you when you were getting into Locksport?
um, Well, starting is easy. You get some lock picks and the critic lock, but after that, I just didn't know where to go. I had some cylinders, some old cylinders from places where I lived that I kept when I changed the locks, but they were too hard for me. So I just didn't know where to go. So I went on Google and searched for lock picking advice, and that's how I found Reddit, the Lockpickers United Reddit.
Yep.
I started a bit there, um, and YouTube videos were very helpful as well, especially Locknoob, and the Helpful Lockpicker has a
Oh
nice
yeah.
series as well on starting to
Definitely.
pick.
Definitely.
Um, and then what I really liked about Reddit was the belt system. There's just when you're starting out, there's a list of locks that are for beginners
Yeah.
that you can start out with. So I bought a couple of those and picked them really quick. And well, the rest is history.
Well, yeah, I think the list gives you a really good baseline to progress. Um,
Yeah,
Not 100% of the time, but a lot of it. So,
no, no, no. It's a living thing, the belt list,
yeah.
because new techniques get discovered, new tools get made, uh, and of course, it's in the beginning a lot of locks were on there, and I'm finding that out now because I'm working with Peace Weapon and Nixt and MG Secure on the new belt app. Uh, there
Yeah.
are just a lot of locks on there from the old days
Yep.
that we don't know much about. So we don't know if they're ranked correctly. Uh, so there's a lot of cleanup that has to be done.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting if the community that manages and adapts and changes that list could actually make that into a database if they haven't already. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah, we have. Yeah,
okay, then having something that the app could connect to that would then adjust and display appropriately based on current information.
Yeah. That's what we're working on.
Oh,
We're
perfect.
looking at the locks that we know little about and just actively trying to find more about it. Sometimes it's just a brand name, so and that brand has different types of locks or doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So there's still some cleanup to be done.
Okay. Hey, anytime you are, well, I'll offer it. I'll say
Hmm.
I'm a DBA, so database work is part of some of what I do for a living. Um, by all means, hit me up. Glad to help in anything,
Okay.
any way I can. Um,
I'll remember that and I'll tell that to the other guys.
okay. So you talked about the LPU and the belt ranking. So what belt are you?
I am at the moment black belt fifth dan.
Okay. Can you talk about what your journey was like getting to that?
Um, it was quick. I'm when I like something, I totally get into it, and when I started picking, and especially when I joined the Discord and found like-minded people, all I did was pick. So I went from I basically flew through the belts. Uh, I started with I think an orange belt with a Master Lock 151 or 150.
Yep.
And after that, really quick green with the ABS 7240. Uh, blue was I struggled with blue a bit because that's when I had some locks with tapered pins.
Yep.
I learned a lot, really a lot from those. That was the Dom Plura and the Nemef NF2. That was still blue back then. It's purple now. Uh, and that's when I learned to progressive pin and really learn from feedback. That blue taught me a lot. After that, I ordered some purple and brown belts, but I picked those basically the day I got them.
Awesome.
Yeah, and after that, some guys on Discord said, just go for black. You can do it. And I was bit skeptic about that. But Reinder, he from the Discord as well, he he said, "I'm going to send you two black belt locks, and you're going to pick them." Well, okay. So
Nope. Nope.
that was a done deal. No going back then.
No pressure or anything.
Nope. No. Well, it didn't feel like pressure. He said if he thinks I can pick them, well, he knows more than me about picking, so
So
probably I can probably pick them.
he believed in your abilities.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of other people did as well. That was very supportive.
So
Uh,
you getting into your getting your black belt and pursuing your Dans now, as I understand it, you're also more involved now in making some of the decisions or collectively as I thought I understood it anyway.
mhm.
Can you talk to that just a little bit about your involvement now that you are a black belt and like the
Well,
lists and so forth?
yeah, especially with the belt list, like we mentioned, uh, it changes. It's a bit of fluid. New locks get discovered. We find out that some locks we thought were very hard are a lot easier with new tools. So every black belt and some other people who are very knowledgeable, um, they have the opportunity to vote to rank a lock for themselves in a list, and based on those rankings, the actual belt ranking gets made. So once you're a black belt, you get some influence on that.
Okay, but to have influence on the ranking of a lock, you have to have picked it. Is that correct or
Yeah, yeah,
okay?
you have to have picked it. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So that's in the beginning it was very daunting because well, I started picking March last year, or maybe February, end of February, I'm not sure. Got my black belt in June. So by the time I, I had that influence, I just started picking. Uh,
Yeah.
Now I've picked lot more of locks. So it's getting easier, but it's still uh, to see my name between pickers, huge names like I don't know, Rijn and Retep, Jim, Jabende. And also the legendary ones, Legend of the Samurai, Artichoke. It's special to be among those people,
Yeah,
to be able to have an influence on the list.
I can only imagine. Okay, so you mentioned in the pre-interview that you had met Rubberband. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. It was last year. I'd never heard about it, but suddenly it was shared on the Discord that LockCon was going to be organized again after being away for a couple of years because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
LockCon a pretty big lock sport conference in the Netherlands, organized by Tool NL. And Rubberband, he was so enthusiastic about it. He said, "You going to love that. You have to go." Um, so I had to go because I trusted his opinion. And we talked a lot about it. And when it came closer, I helped him find a hotel. And I said, you know what? When you come to the Netherlands, I'm going to pick you up from Schiphol. That's the Amsterdam airport. We made arrangements for that. Was really looking forward to it. The day came. I went to the airport to wait for him, and no one came. Yeah, a lot of people came from the gate, but no Rubberband. And after an hour or two, I was getting nervous. I thought maybe he was, I don't know, kept by customs, or I should say the police. I don't know.
Well,
I only knew him from Discord, so I didn't have any contact information.
yeah. Well, he
And I
is
was afraid to leave.
he is a
Hmm?
character.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what happened. So after 2 hours, I was getting really nervous, and 3 hours went by, 4 hours, and I didn't dare to leave because maybe he suddenly magically would appear out of the gate and wouldn't know, wouldn't have anywhere to go. Um, so I think it was about after 4 or 5 hours, I was really panicking, and I went on Discord from I lost Rubberband. I don't know what's happened. All the players was very helpful. And, oh no, a lot of people. I talked to him afterwards. He said he had he had gotten about 40 messages from people. Where are you? Greenish is waiting for you. He's panicking. uh, at the end, I got his phone number. I called him. I said, "Where are you? Is everything okay?" He said, "Well, yeah, I'm at home. I'm packing my stuff. I'm going to leave for the airport soon." Um, and then I felt really dumb because I had forgotten about the time zones. That he lives in a different time zone. So
Yeah.
when we were making plans for, I don't know, it was the 23rd maybe of August. Uh, he was leaving the 23rd of August his time, but it was the 24th of August my time.
Gotcha.
So that was very special. So the next day I was there again, and everything went very well. I picked him up. We immediately stepped into the car to drive to the other part of the Netherlands to visit Reinde. And there was a click. I think we were in the car for 5 hours that day, and we just talked
That's
about
cool.
life, about locks, about
That
everything.
that's very cool.
Yeah. And after that, I took him to the hotel, and the next day I picked him up again to have lunch at my place. And again, we just talked about locks for hours. Yeah, that was it clicked. It was very special, as
That's
was Lockon. Lockon was very special as well.
that's very cool. Well, For those who don't know what Lockcom is, can you explain that a little bit?
Um, well, it's basically there are lectures about locks by really very knowledgeable people. Collectors come there with their stuff. There's a big part is competition. There's a lockpicking competition,
Oh, cool.
and there's an impressioning competition. Um, and it was my first lockpicking competition. It was very fun. I went in without expectations, and I had so much fun.
That's
I don't consider myself a competitive lockpicker before that, but competing in something you really like to do is so much fun.
yeah.
Uh, that was an eye opener for me, as was the people. The people. There was I felt at home. Yeah, I really I said it later to my wife and other people as well. The people at Lockon, when I arrived at Lockon, I never felt more welcome uh, in my life before in a group of people I didn't know.
That's cool.
It's that was really really very special.
So you mentioned impressioning. So you talked in the pre-interview about how you do impressioning. Did that influence you to give that a try, or did that just come later? Or
Oh, that definitely was a very big incentive. Meeting Rubberband and hear him talk about
oh
impressioning and
yeah,
watching the competition. Uh, I think Jos from Tool and L1 that time he's so good at impressioning as well. Um, and Rubberband brought some of his handles,
oh
and I really
awesome,
wanted to learn. Yeah,
awesome.
I bought a handle of him, and I didn't use that for a long time, but I had it. Impressioning. I want to learn anything with locks, so impressioning is one of them. And later at a Tool meetup in Amsterdam, I asked Jos from Tool, I want to learn impression. Can you show me? So I got lessons. He taught me, and it was so much fun. It's such a different pace from just picking uh, picking a lock. It's much more. You have to work for it. It's it's
Yeah.
it's
Well,
it's it's yeah. I really enjoy it.
so yeah, I have some questions about that because I have tried to dive into it, and um,
Hmm.
will probably return to it when in my free time. um,
Yeah.
what kind of special tools, other than the handle that you use to hold the key blank and all that, what other kind of special tools do you utilize to help you
Um,
with outside of the files and the normal things you would expect?
mhm. Um, I like to use just some fine sanding paper to when I prepare the blank, so I can see
Yep.
the initial marks better. I have a loop that has
Okay.
10 times magnification, and it's a little bit too much, so I just ordered a loop lamp with 5 times magnification that I'm going to try out. But the hardest thing is getting the blanks. If you got a handle and a clamp, you need a good sturdy clamp to hold the lock when you're
Yeah.
trying to get marks.
So
Yeah.
for for your magnification, you're using a loop. What I had picked up to help me um, is one of those little. It's like a. It's got a LCD screen on it, and there's a microscope underneath it. You can actually see
Hmm.
the key close up, and it's got lights and all that type of thing.
Yeah.
What I don't even know what it's called, like a bench microscope type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah, and it
It's
seems like it would help. It's just back and forth, finally getting it to come in focus so you can see
yeah.
what you're looking
It's
for.
it's an exercise in patience.
Oh yeah, big
Very
time.
much so. I always want to go too fast and overfile things. That's something I need to work on.
I'm right there with you. Okay, so before we wrap up, I wanted to ask you one more question.
Mhm.
Your YouTube channel, what inspired you to start your channel, and where do you see yourself going with it?
Um, well, I basically started it to get belts,
Yeah.
just documenting what I pick, picking a lock, gutting a lock. There are other people who can talk, explain locks much better than I can, I think. Um, but so that's the main part for now. But I found out it was, I think it was an impressioning session. What I really liked is when I did a live stream and watching the chat, the direct contact with viewers, asking a question, hey, how do you get a mark? Why are you filing like that? Or why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? That
Yeah.
I really like that. It also made me less nervous when I just make a normal video. Sometimes I feel adventurous and just tell something about the locks I'm picking.
Yep.
Sometimes I don't. But when I'm just working on something, I see a question, and that's what I like. Then I know, okay, somebody wants to know something about that, and I can tell something about that, or I can't, and then just say I don't know. Um, but yeah, that was fun, that live stream. So I hope to do that more. Just teaching. Yeah, I like to teach hands-on.
I've been giving that some thought myself on a few different things, but we'll see if that comes to pass or not.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
did you have anything you'd like to say to our audience before we close?
Um, yeah. One thing I think it's about the belt system because I really love it, but because it's a tool. It's a great way to know um, where where you're at a bit, what kind of locks you can pick, also to discover new locks. Um, but it isn't more than that. Um, I may be a black belt and well, almost six dan, but there are so many great pickers, much more knowledgeable than me, that don't do the belt system. And some people, I think it gets better now, but some people see the title black belt and think, "Wow, you must be awesome, you know everything." But that's not the case. There are green belts, orange belt pickers in the Discord who know much more than me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so don't. uh, it tells something about the logs you have picked, uh, but there are so many parts in log sport that can
Yeah.
make you a great picker or great log sport. Like whatever the impression, the picking, tool making, challenge log making. Everybody has his niche. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the main thing. Just don't. The belt system isn't the all important everything of log sport.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you for this. This has been a great interview. I really enjoyed getting to talk with you and getting to know you. We had a few laughs as well during the pre-interview. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun, and I appreciate that. Um,
yeah.
so, with that being said, I want to thank everybody that tuned in to listen to this episode. If you are currently a subscriber, thank you. If you are not yet a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and turn on all so that you can receive notification about new interviews like this, new content such as giveaways and the drawings for those giveaways, as well as some of my other content. And with that, thank you for listening.